What's going on, everybody? We're back with the Real Bodybuilding Podcast. This is episode number 123. I never do introductions with you, Nick, because you're always on bro chat, so it's kind of weird. What's going on? How are you, man?
I'm good. Really tired, but good.
I haven't seen you in forever. Where'd the beard come from?
I'm growing it out, so then because people don't have a sunken in face, but I really do. So when I shave it, I look like a Skeletor.
So you're trying to surprise everybody with a Skeletor face.
I can already see my bones, and at this time frame when I was getting ready for New York, you couldn't really see my cheekbones yet. So it's just really crazy how my body is dramatically different at this time out versus where I was.
I can tell something's different because your eyes look more sunken in.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
We're pushing hard for this one.
Well, what's crazy is I feel like you've been ready for a while, but it's almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, when you guys get ready, it almost seems like you've taken off the big chunks of fat way early and you've been kind of refining for the last few weeks.
Yeah, even with training, I don't train in heavy.
Yeah.
I train heavy in the desired rep range, 10 to 12 to 15. I don't really do the low stuff because I feel like more reps helps refine the muscle better rather than the low. And for me, I feel like I have the size needed at this point. I'm not going to grow. So there's for me, it's just all about the refinement of everything.
But I mean, even with your diet, is Matt kind of playing with your macros a lot, or is it stuff pretty stable?
Every so far, I'd say since probably around 3 weeks out, it's been something different every day now.
Really, eh?
No days have ever been the same yet.
It feels like we're gonna see a totally different Nick based on this last. I'm gonna just show the last photo you posted. So this was today.
Morning.
This is this morning.
Yeah.
It looks to me like, and I guess to people who don't follow bodybuilding really deeply, they wouldn't see, but I see deeper separation in the shoulders from the arms, and chest is more striated, deeper separation in the abs. This almost looks to me like it's harder than you were on stage in New York.
Yes, I would agree. And like I said, I just think that's due to just more time, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm also, the way I train, like I said, I just keep the reps a little higher, and I'm also incorporating a lot more rest pause and drop sets almost with every exercise to really, really, bring in as much detail as possible.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I have upped the volume a little bit for me, and I just think it's working.
Is this pose comfortable for you?
Yes, I actually like it better than the other, style.
Yeah.
Kind of you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. With the feet together. This looks really good on you.
Yeah. I like the way that looks better than the other way.
Yeah. Cause you kind of gives you that sunken in, like soap dish shit in your hip.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really good. Waist looks small, and then you can see the carve out in your back. Yeah, that's a really good shot, man. Everything looks crazy. I don't know. I don't think you can get, it doesn't look to me like you can get any leaner. What's Matt have planned for you?
I have no idea. like I said, literally for example, yesterday, the food was relatively lower and we did 40 minutes of cardio. Today he bumped it just a little bit and dropped the cardio down to 30. So like I said, every day is different at this point. We're just basing it off my look in the morning, my weight and flatness, of course, and we're just taking it day by day. I prefer that.
What's the most cardio you've done throughout this whole prep?
Probably a little over an hour.
You split it up into two different sessions?
We're doing that a little bit, yeah.
How do you do just so people know, how do you do the two sessions? Do you do one in the morning and one later at night, or how does it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
So technically what I was actually doing, if I trained,
mm-hmm.
we only did one cardio session, but on off days we did two. And I would do it in the morning, and then the other session would be before my last meal.
Okay.
But even now, I still do cardio after training. I wouldn't consider it cardio.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better after I'm done training. I'll just sit on the bike and just pedal for 15, 20 minutes.
Let me ask you,
going, and I feel good afterwards. So
let me ask you this. So let's say you do your cardio in the morning, your normal cardio, right? And then post workout, there's something I used to do that I don't know why. It was the lightest cardio ever. I would literally walk at like 2 and a half miles per hour
but it
post workout. Yeah, I would honestly feel like that too, just like 20 minutes post workout, really slow. For some reason, I would wake up leaner the next day when I added that in.
Like when I ride a bike, I don't go like heavy resistance, like maybe a little level 5 or something, and just
Yeah.
and I get a little sweat going, but I feel great. And then I'll wake up tighter, leaner, like and that's where I think like I think some people tend to overdo cardio and push too hard. Like my goal is to do literally like one fucking hard session and that's it. And then like the little bit that I do is just kind of just to keep everything moving, but it's not like anything drastic.
Yeah.
And that helps, because it's not taxing because you just did training, like you just tax your entire body.
Yeah.
So I think that like just keeps everything moving and grooving,
I agree. So this prep, were you in Florida for your entire last prep in New York or no? For New York?
For New York, yes.
Okay. But then now you got your own house and some other things are a little different. How's your prep been this time? Like now you're set up in Florida with your own home and, you're training at Revive Gym all the time and Chris is there and Ian's there. And how's all that playing out?
Well, so I'll tell you what, man, like I thought living alone would be like the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I'll be like, because like I like that I have my own privacy, but when you are alone literally all day, every day, it gets to you.
Yeah. I remember that.
Like, wow, there's nothing like, wow, it kind of like fucks with you a little bit, but
yeah.
Luckily, I mean, I'm sure I've said it, I don't know if you know, but my brother is down here. He's going to be staying with me until the O.
Okay.
And we're going to be going partners on my YouTube now.
Okay. That's awesome. So what's he going to be doing?
So he's filming all of my content now.
Okay. So he's behind the scenes and you're going to be obviously.
Yeah. So he's basically, eventually, probably more toward after the holidays when, he builds a lot of money through all of this. Him and his wife are going to probably end up moving down here.
That's awesome.
In the Stewart area. Yeah. And I think honestly, having him here, even the past like 4 or 5 days he's been here already.
Yeah.
Is kept me more like relaxed and chill.
Yeah.
And I like that you have someone to talk to,
Yeah.
It's different. It's different for me from FaceTiming my mom all day. You know what I mean? Like to have someone, and I don't mind him because he's my brother.
Yeah.
And he knows to kind of stay the fuck out of my way too.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good mix having him here as well.
Yeah, it's tough because you don't want to have. I know what you mean. Like bodybuilding is a lonely sport, but you want to have someone there, but you also don't want to talk to them when you don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's when we're like watching TV, we don't speak. We just watch TV.
Yeah.
Or now that he helped me hook my Xbox up, we play Call of Duty or Madden, and I'm just relaxed playing game. Like it's cool.
Yeah, but it's different. Like if you have a friend over, or if you have like a new girlfriend, you feel you got to entertain them.
Yeah, I can't do a new relationship right now because then I'll get like I got to entertain her and this and that, and I'm like, just go.
Yeah, brother. You know what? Brother is the perfect mix. It's a little bit of fucking.
Get it. Especially him. He's lived with me my whole life technically.
Yeah.
He knows how I am in prep, and he gets it. So I'm like, this is a perfect setup.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So he's kind of eased your anxiety a little bit. Is there any pressure? Are you feeling any pressure? Because this is the biggest show of your life now. So
yeah, well, then the Olympia will be.
That's what I mean. Like it's almost like every next show is the biggest show of your life.
And that okay, so that's what I was getting at. Like I think when I was alone, like that was all I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And I think that started to get to me as well. And having him here, like, and now I just don't think about it. Like I kind of think about it as the way I was prepping for New York, because it was, for me, New York was like my first real prep for a pro show.
Yeah.
And I just, I wanted to win, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm just going to have fun. Like whatever happens, right?
Yeah.
And I think that for a while for this Arnold prep, I was really getting on myself, really hard on myself.
Do you think you kind of did that to yourself because of the way you speak, or is it just that would have been that way anyways?
No, like, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to win the Arnold. I'll say it like a million times until we're done here. I don't care.
I love that. I love it.
You know that, but I think that the pressure that I was putting on myself, wasn't like Christy Bumstead said, right? Like pressure is a privilege. There's good pressure, but then there's also bad pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I was applying too much on myself. I mean, because there's already going to be pressure on me to do good, right? But I also have to remember, like, as long as I'm controlling every variable I can control and I show up my entire best, and wherever the chips fall, the chips fall. I know I can look back and be like, well, there was literally nothing more I could have done.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy regardless.
Yeah, I tell people that's the most important part, because you never want to be like the day after the show or the night after the show, sit there and be like, had I done a little bit more cardio, or had I whatever, eaten a little less food, or whatever the fuck the case may be. Like, so yeah, you're right. Yeah, dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's is the way to go. So I want to talk a little bit about the commentary. So we didn't really get to talk about it because you kind of took a break from the podcast. So we'll touch on it real quick. What kind of, I know you got a little bit of blowback from telling people like, I'm going to win the Arnold and this and that. People are like, well, you're the young guy, you shouldn't talk like that. How do you feel about that? And like, is there a part of you that wishes you didn't say it, or are you like, no, this is what I should be saying, this is how I should be feeling, and I don't care? I want to...
Go ahead. Yeah. I'm going to win.
When you come back to the podcast, man, fucking
I promise I'll be all right after. I promise.
I know. I'm just fucking around.
No, I don't regret it. And when for me, and this is just my opinion, when I hear the vets say I shouldn't say things like this, blah, 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 and it's only certain ones.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel they only feel that way because I'm a threat to them. Because if they didn't look at me as a threat, they wouldn't really care what I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're just like, they'll be like, oh, just some newbie talking, whatever, blah, blah. But they know, Fouad, they know.
That's a good point.
They know how hard I'm working, and they know I'm coming to take the title.
Yeah. We did a little breakdown a couple weeks ago, I think. And I was talking about all the different people, and William, I think it's interesting because you and William is the favorite in a lot of people's eyes to win.
As he should be. He's, the champ.
Well, he's won previous Arnolds and all that. So the reason it's interesting to me is you guys have similar physiques in that you're heavily muscled. Mm-hmm. And it's not like it's just a heavily muscled physique that's very, very proportionate, very symmetrical. Mm-hmm. How do you think you beat William? Where do you beat William at his own game? Because I think his strength over you is going to be detail, and I think your strength over him is going to be, you're a wider guy with bigger clavicles. So where do you see?
But where I'm at now, I think detail is going to be very, very close between us. Yeah. Yeah. Especially since, I haven't even dried out yet, like nothing. And the detail that I have already, is pretty nutty. But I do think overall I am bigger than William. Yeah. I do think he's probably a little more denser than me though. And I just think that's age. But then again, he is older. So I seen his guest posing, he looked really good, but how is that going to translate on stage? Yeah. So I think it's going to be a really good battle, in my opinion, and it's just going to come down to, who's better conditioned, in my opinion, honestly. Do you think that's the battle? Is it you and William, or are you? Well, I'm gonna actually revert back to what you said on one of the podcasts, which I think is fairly correct. If William is the favorite to win, the only person in the lineup that is very similar to him is me. Yeah, I said that to Nathan and James because we were talking about it. And I actually agree with that, because if he's the favorite to win, the one closest to his structure, his frame, his everything is me. Just a little bit taller, to be honest, but yeah. No, I stand behind that, because when I go down the rest of the list, the guys all look different. Like Ian looks different than William, and Sergio's a little bit taller, and Steve's a little bit taller, and they have very different physiques. Is there somebody else that you see as a threat in any way? I mean, I know you think you're going to win, but is there somebody else that you see challenging and being more competitive with you? In my opinion, I think if he shows up, I think Steve Kucalo could do some damage.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting thing about the show, right? It's like,
but there's a lot of guys like if he came up, who knows? You know, we all know. I already know what Ian's technically going to look like. Mm-hmm. He's going to be up there.
Yeah, I think it's the interesting thing is between the top 6 is not really like very much room. Yeah.
But just like I don't think, you know, even for Bonac, this isn't a guaranteed win for him. This is going to be a battle between a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? Sergio might show up and shock the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No one knows.
So the Olympia is 2 weeks later?
Yes.
How does it work for you to let's play some scenarios out, okay? Just for fun. Nick Walker wins the Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
What happens afterwards leading into the Olympia?
I will be in the top 5.
If you win the Arnolds. So when you win the Arnolds that night, do you celebrate with a dinner, or are you like back on your diet because the Olympia is 2 weeks away?
No. If I know Matt the way I know Matt, he'll probably say, let's just get back on diet. Or he might let me just have like a burger and fry, kind of just fill out a little bit. Yeah. And then that's it. Like we're back on to work.
Yeah.
But for me, like I would be fine with not, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, if he allows it, I'm gonna take it. But if he doesn't, I'm not upset. Yeah. You know, then I expect to be in the top 5, top 3 at the Olympia.
So let me ask you this. If you win the Arnold, or even if you don't win the Arnold, but let's say, like you said, you've crossed all your T's, dotted all your I's, you're at your very best at the Arnold. Is there anything different you can do at the Olympia? Let's say if you come in at 100%, it's only 2 weeks later. So we pretty much know what Nick is going to show up, or is there something you guys have planned for that 2 weeks?
No, we're just basically, we're going to peak hard for this one and then replicate it all over again.
Okay. So you win the Arnolds, you have a cheat meal, you get back to work, or you don't have a cheat meal, you get back to work. 2 weeks later is the O, and you think top 5 at the Olympia is your...
I think it's very possible, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you beat William at the Arnolds, there's no reason why you couldn't be in the top 5 at the Olympia. Dude, those are big goals, man.
My goal is to qualify next year for the O.
Top 5 qualifies, right?
Yes.
If you qualify, if that happens, I mean, we're jumping way ahead, but if that happens, you take the whole year off?
I would have a nice full year to like really relax. I've been in prep since January. You gotta remember.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I would take definitely a good few months. I'd still train, and you know, I'm very, no matter what. It's just the mental aspect of, you know, being able to relax. You know.
Yeah.
But I would definitely take, you know, a couple months to just kind of relax, and I plan on going home for a little while for the holidays and stuff like that. And then just get going for the Olympia the next year. Yeah.
Top 5. So who do you see ahead of you at the Arnold, at the Olympia? Sorry, we're jumping ahead. Just in case I don't get to talk to you between now and the Olympia, I'm just curious. So who do you see ahead of you at the Olympia, if anybody?
The only people I could see like truly beating me would probably be Rami, Brandon, and possibly Hadi.
So, yeah, I mean, it fills out, and if you already beat Bonac,
it fills out. I don't think
it fills out, and then you already beat Bonac.
If I win the Arnold, like I just beat everyone.
Yeah, except for those three guys.
Battled yet?
That's true. Yeah, so, I mean, it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
Nick, if you win the Arnold and you place top 5 at the fucking Olympia, that's one of the best starts to a career.
I told you, I'm coming to history.
Well, I still have the podcast where you said you'd be Mr. Olympia in 2 years. So, you know, it's funny. It's, you know, can I tell you it's crazy? Because I can say this to you. When you said that to me on the first podcast, I was like, this kid's fucking nuts. I loved it. I was like, the confidence is like a breath of fresh air, but I'm like,
yeah,
fucking 2 years. That's crazy. And now you're kind of making a believer out of me. And I'm like, it's fucking going to be true.
You know what it is, Fouad? My entire life, I was doubted.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to get like a thrill out of proving people wrong, because I'm always the guy that if you support me, that's what means most. And as long as I prove them right, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But my entire career was about proving people wrong the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have done that literally every step of the way.
Where did that flip though? You just said that you don't do that anymore. Why did that change?
What?
Well, because you said in the beginning it was about proving people wrong, and now it's about proving.
Oh, it still is.
Yeah.
But I never looked at it like I was just more along like my family who supports everyone who supports me. That was the main motivation, no matter what.
That's first, yeah.
Yeah, but there was always a large sum of people that I always doubted me.
Yeah,
well-known people at that. So I never let that get to me, but I knew that if I proved them right, they would just, I don't like when people predict that I'm going to lose and they're like, told you so, So that bothers me. So my entire career was mainly proving people wrong. And that's what I did. But I also let my main motivation be proving everyone right who supported me.
That's a very good point.
I don't want to let those people down.
Yeah.
So that drives me to even work harder.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people lose sight of those people. Because I think a lot of us that train are so concerned with like you said, proving people wrong.
Yeah.
We forget that the more important part is proving people right. That's a very good point. Okay, I don't want to keep you long, but I just want to get into a couple X's and O's.
Yeah, that's fine.
Macro wise, I'm curious. People want to know. I'm curious. What are you kind of eating? Do you know, or just like Matt knows all the fucking numbers and you don't really pay attention?
All that. I don't know.
Okay. Do you know your carb count? Do you know like how much carbs you're eating a day?
No, like I said, it's different every day, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So cardio, we've been over.
I can just tell you that I'm either eating chicken and steak.
Yeah.
I only eat jasmine rice.
Okay.
I have some asparagus in my diet.
What are your fat? Any added fat sources?
Once like today, he added in some macadamia nut oil. And then once in a while, depending on how the days go, throwing some almond butter a couple meals. Sometimes a banana here and there. It all depends on the day, man.
So does Matt just know your fucking body from working together for so long that you can?
At this point, he's kind of got me down to a T.
Yeah. So you send him photos in the morning. He just knows, okay, he needs an extra banana today. He needs some fats today. You can just tell.
Yeah.
You
just go by weight. Like I send him pictures every morning, but I at least 2 to 3 times a week, he'll meet me at the gym and he'll look at me then. And then he looks at me a lot post training now as well. So
yeah. What is it? How long have you been working with Matt now?
Since 2018.
So I guess it's kind of a lesson to those guys who jump coaches all the time.
Yes, I think Matt is really good because my first prep with him was the USA's in 2019 where I took second.
Yeah.
And I'd say we pretty much nailed it. It was just, the other kid won.
Yeah.
But every prep has just gotten better and better. So, but yeah, like I think if you get a new coach, you need to stick with him for a little while to really learn your body. Unless it was just a complete disaster. But we have those sometimes.
Yeah.
But literally, like not every prep with a new coach is going to be perfected. Like there will be mistakes made, and you just have. And if the mistakes keep getting repeated, then obviously there is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got to stick with them out, and for him to learn your body,
How invested is Matt? Matt seems like he's like full on fucking best friend brother mode, trying to see this through with you.
He is, for real. He is. He's super excited for the show. It's insane.
How does Matt separate? It's always curious to me. I know Matt doesn't coach Ian, but I know they're friends, and now he's on the same team as you and everything. How does Matt separate that excitement for you and Ian? And it's crazy because you guys are all together, but you're competing against each other at the same time.
Like, here's the thing, right? Like, we're all friends. We're all going to talk. I see Ian, we talk, we have fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, we know, like, we're to battle on stage soon. And that's where you separate it for that time being, you know?
Yeah.
And then whoever comes out on top, like, you don't be a sore loser. You know, it's your friend. You say, good job. You did, you know, you well deserved, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And then go have food with them.
That's it. So it's professional. There's no animosity, no bullshit afterwards.
Like, I'll tell you right now, like, I love Ian, but like where I'm at mentally now, like that is my competition. Like, it's game on, homie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know he feels the same.
Yeah, he does. It's interesting because I think people have trouble separating, and I can like even think of it myself. People have trouble separating that intense competitive spirit with friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like to separate those two things has got to be challenging.
Yes and no. Like I said, when I see him, we have you know, we talk, hi, what's up, how you feeling, this and that.
Yeah.
But like when we're training, if we're together at this, like there's no words. Like it's we're training, you know.
Yeah, that's got to be crazy, man. Good for you guys.
But it's also here though, because it definitely is, and I know he feels the same. It's definitely more motivation for sure.
Well, I was going to ask you that, is having him there, like if you see him at the gym, I know you guys probably don't train at the same time all the time, but if you do see him training, does that motivate you to push harder, or you just, you know, you're pushing that hard no matter what? Like, are you getting an extra rep when Ian's there?
Not really, because I don't pay attention to anyone around me.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I'll look in the corner of my eye and I'll see him, and it's not what he looks like, it's not what he's doing that will push me. It's like that's my competition. Yeah. You know, like I get a quick reminder, like that's who I'm battling. Got to work harder. You know.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so before we go, on the female front, anything?
No.
Nothing?
I'm
completely celibate for the last 12 weeks.
Oh man.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Zero time for that right now.
Okay. That's what
I'm way too locked in.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay. Nick, I know you're tired, focused, prepped, doing all this stuff, so I'm not going to keep you. But I just wanted to have a quick chat. I appreciate you coming on. I'm probably not going to talk to you. Well, I might shoot you a text or something, but I probably won't talk to you live
man,
before the Arnold. But listen, man, everyone's rooting for you. I wish you luck. It's going to be a crazy competition. Everyone's going to be watching. So
thank you.
I wish you the best, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, brother.
Any final words you want to put out before we go?
I'm going to win the Arnold.
That's the last period.
Done.
Okay, man. That's it. All right, brother. I will talk to you soon, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay, man. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.